Hey everybody, I would never have been able to start this podcast without Anchor, so I definitely need to give props where it's due. Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast, and it's basically everything you need in one place. They have all the tools you need to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And when hosting a podcast on Anchor, you can distribute it on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole bunch of other ones. So it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Everything Kratom, the podcast about anything and everything Kratom. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday morning, hoping all is well with you out there today as always. I don't know why, but today I'm feeling quite sympathetic for those who are in the legislatures of many, many states around the country. And the reason being is because it must be super confusing to have to think about, like, Kratom legislation when you don't know what Kratom is. You're looking to the authorities, or supposedly supposed to be the authorities on the subject. And they're saying that they tried to ban it 3 years ago and they wanted to ban it again. And then you're looking at the World Health Organization saying it's not really worth the time. And then you're looking at a bunch of advocates come out of nowhere and calling you and saying, don't ban this, it saves lives. And you're hearing from a few people, well, it killed my son. So it's like, wow, that is a lot to take in as a legislator, I would assume. And it seems to me that there aren't really many things like that around anymore. That's the interesting thing. I might be completely wrong about this, so if I'm totally off base, call me out on it. Let me learn, please. But it seems to me like there's not many things that legislators completely and totally 100% have no opinion on yet, necessarily. Yet. It seems like a lot of things are kind of divided based on party or ideology or what they got elected on. It's like this one, it kind of has the benefit of not really being the main issue of America right now, even though I think it's becoming increasingly well known and becoming more of the conversation. It isn't quite there yet. And so since it's not front and center, it's not the sort of thing that's going to get them reelected or not reelected, but they are realizing that it's a big deal and that if, there's something about it that could go right, then that'd be great. And if there's something about it that can go wrong, they do not want to be the ones who voted to keep it around. So all this and saying, wow, what an interesting and confusing situation they must be dealing with. I'm certainly not envious, that's for sure. But, at the same time, I just kind of am thinking about all this and thinking, they need some guidance. Like, they need some guidance that's not lobbying. And I think that the lobbying from the pro-Kratom side is probably pretty intense. And then they also need some people who are, like, maybe a little more skeptical of Kratom, talking to them, who aren't saying, like, this killed someone I love, and we just need to ban it, and, all these other people are crazy. Like, it's kind of a different, unofficial kind of lobby, in a way. And, I just think that it must be very difficult to be them and have to take all this information in unless they know what it is, And how are you supposed to know? Plus, think about it. They keep on saying in all these different KCPA, discussions, Kratom Consumer Protection Act discussions, that they need to look at what the FDA is doing and they need to look at what the DEA says and all this stuff. And of course, then they look at it and they're like, well, according to them, it's bad. And then you realize, well, they tried to ban it a few times and it didn't work. So here we are, now what? Do you want to go back to that drawing board again, or do we want to try something new that might actually resolve the situation, or at least, I don't know, let's put some thought into it, This is one of those few things where I think there's a lot of potential because of that very reason. People need to think about it, to even vote on it to begin with. Like, unless you know what this is, you're going to have to do some digging. This isn't like those hot button issues that are out there. And again, never getting into politics, but for example, this is not like the discussion over whether or not the government should play any role in terms of what firearms should or shouldn't be allowed in the everyday person's home, for instance, right? That's something that I hear a lot of debate about out there. And it's pretty clear to me that a lot of people get elected based on their views on that. And then with this, well, you don't really know. You have no idea what the people want because they don't even know what Kratom is either. So it's like, other than the group of people who do, no one does. And yet here it is knocking on their doorstep, and it's this fringe thing with lobbyists and people who are opponents and everything coming at them all at once saying, we want this, we want that. And they're saying, I don't even know what this is. You have the government who's saying, well, we tried to ban it twice. And they, the legislature's like, well, when was that? I don't even remember that. And it kind of becomes a mess afterwards. So anyway, I think that it's really crazy. I think it's kind of neat. And I'm very glad I'm not one of them. All right, that's my 2 cents today, you guys. I hope your day goes great. And we'll be back tomorrow. Take it easy. Hope you enjoyed this little snippet. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.